Welcome back to another edition of the Phronesis Perspective. I'm Matt Ackerman, and I'm joined today, of course, by my good friend, Richard Osman. Hi, Rich. How you doing?
Doing good. Good to see you again.
Now, Rich, we're here to talk about a subject that most people ignore or do not have a lot of knowledge of, and that's the subject of what should you do after a loved one passes away?
Wow, Matt, that's actually a great subject. And of course, one that is not discussed very often. There are truly some do's and don'ts to consider after a loved one passes away. In fact, because of this, I have written the 10 steps to take when a loved one passes away.
So, Rich, you actually written about this already?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure my clients are very well versed in the steps that I believe are important.
So, Rich, would you share some of those steps with me, please?
Well, yes, of course. There are some obvious ones, like ordering multiple copies of a death certificate, contacting the Social Security Administration, reaching out to the probate court in the county of the residency, communicating with the past employer, as well as the decedent's financial advisor. Yet there are areas that most people don't think about, such as taking steps to reduce the risk of identity theft, closing social media accounts, and knowing who to inform of the death before having the proper paperwork in place.
Wow, identity theft, right, jumps off the page to me because we're seeing so much more identity theft these days. Hey, do you mind explaining a little bit more at reducing the chances of identity theft? What can be done?
Well, you want to make sure that you definitely reach out to the big three credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You want to make sure you flag the credit report as deceased. In addition, you might want to cancel the deceased passport, their driver's license, and credit cards. All of this will definitely make it harder to assume the descendant's identity.
That's interesting. That's definitely something I wouldn't have thought of. So why is it important to close their social media accounts?
Well, not only is it important to cancel social media accounts, but it's also be very careful about what you or anyone else posts online. Putting a deceased person's full name and or address could lead to individuals trying to target their homes, either for robbery attempts or for squatting. And don't forget other online or subscription accounts such as PayPal, Venmo, Amazon, Gmail, Netflix, Kindle, etc. Closing these accounts could help stop identity theft, but also help stop any payments to such companies.
Rich, another interesting point you made was knowing who to inform before having proper paperwork in place. What did you mean by this? How do you inform people before the proper paperwork's in place?
Well, Matt, I believe there is definitely an order to do these things. Who do you contact first or last? And I would say that I usually prefer to wait to contact the deceased bank company because there are potentially ongoing transactions that should or need to continue. And there may be additional deposits and or online payments that are being made. Now, some of those like payroll, mortgage, and utilities, you may want to continue until you've had the opportunity to review the needs to continue what needs to be stopped and continued. More importantly, you need time to get the proper paperwork in place so that when you decide to open an estate for the deceased or move the bank account into a joint survivorship name or an account, estate account. In other words, you don't want to notify the bank the day after the death and then not be able to produce paperwork to change the account for another 2 months. It would be better to make sure that you have the paperwork in place at the time you notified the bank so that you can do the transfer of the bank account assets at the same time.
Well, Rich, there seems to be a lot of information here, a lot of great information, but what can someone do if they want to learn more?
Well, of course, they're always welcome to reach out to my team here at Phronesis Wealth Management, or they can visit our website to read my blog on the 10 steps to take when a loved one passes away. They also could just reach out to schedule an appointment to discuss the specifics of their situation.
Rich, always good stuff. Thank you so much for sharing.
Matt, you're very welcome.
There's a lot of information here, folks. So if you're viewing this video, consider reaching out to the team at Phronesis Wealth Management for more information. And hey, don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you can get the latest Phronesis perspective when it comes out each month. For Rich Osman, I'm Matt Ackerman, and this has been the Phronesis Perspective. Have a great day.